Souls and Folks. My name is Amber. I'm with Bike Walk Twin Cities, and I am here today at the Hub Bike Co-op with
David.
And David's going to walk us around the store and talk to us just a little bit about how to buy a bike, what kind of bikes they have, and how to make sure your bike fits you. So we're going to get started.
First thing I usually ask customers is what they're going to use the bicycle for. To start things off, let's start off with somebody that's just going to use a bike every once in a while, mostly around on the trails that we have around here, bike paths, stuff like that. Just a good basic bike, once or twice a week, something like that. And with that, it's going to be, for us it's a Giant, but a lot of bike brands are going to be a very similar style bike. They typically start off at about $300. You can get a bike that's going to be very durable for quite a few years. I look at these as bikes because everybody pretty much has a bike, and this is going to be one of those bikes you can jump on, and it's going to be comfortable no matter if it's been a week since you biked or a year since you biked. It's going to have a nice upright handlebar position, super cushy saddle, really fun and zippy. One of our most utilitarian bikes would be the hybrid that's up another $100 or so. These guys get used for pretty much everything. It's a little bit more balanced riding position. So rather than having the handlebars super high and the saddle super low, this is a little bit more equal. So it equalizes the weight, it puts you in a little bit more efficient position, it's going to egg you on a little bit more. A lot of people use this for commuting. And then if you're looking at doing something more seasonal, something that's going to be mostly in the summer, a little bit in the spring, and then the fall, you want something that's really quick handling, they'll really egg you on. We have somewhere, it's a flat bar road bike. Giant doesn't manufacture this, but a lot of brands also have something that's pretty similar to it. Basically below here, it's a road bike. It has road brake calipers on it, road gearing, road tires, a little bit thinner tire, but then it has standard flat bars on there. What that does is you get to have a really fun zippy bike with the stability of having a wider handlebar on there. These I kind of see as a commuter bike with style. So it comes with matching fenders, it comes with the chain guard so you don't get your foot all greased up. It has dual top tubes rather than one larger one. This is fun because you can actually drop a U-lock in between here and it clips on there, rather than having to put it on the mount that it comes with or putting it in your bag. The Janus Commuter is one of my favorite bikes. This is the first bike that I'll talk about that has an internally geared hub. So if you look, it looks like a single-speed style drivetrain. It doesn't have the derailleurs hanging off of it. And the gears are just inside the hub here. It's almost like the transmission of a car. And so the components that are in there end up being a little bit more steel is used. There's larger overlap. It ends up being a little bit more durable system. Or in the wintertime, you don't have to worry about gears getting all full of snow, dunked up. And the fun thing too is that when you're riding these, you can shift it whenever you feel like it. So you can shift it when you're just at a standstill right now. It'll change what gear it's going in. The newer ones like this, you can shift while you're pedaling. You used to have to stop pedaling for the gears to change. You can shift it when you're coasting. And so that kind of takes that whole spectrum out of question. And it also has a chain guard on it. Nice and simple. This one has these curved back bars. And it has that level handlebar to saddle thing that ends up being a nice equal weight. I also get a lot of people that are looking for something more in the road category. Or if somebody comes in and they're looking at a bike that's a 45-minute ride or more than that, then I start recommending the drop handlebars, like a road style bar. And those we have over here. So these are all of our road bikes. The road bikes end up starting off, and this is pretty much true to most companies, around $700. The reason for that is because road bikes are just used more. And so the person that's going to buy a road bike needs to have the durability that a $700 bike has. So the bikes that are around 1,000. What we end up selling a ton of too are bikes that are in between that road and like what we talked about for the commuter bikes. And that would be just around the front here. And this whole row is kind of comprised of two separate styles of bikes that are pretty similar. One's called cyclocross and one's called touring. What they're doing is they have the road style handlebars on it, so they all look like road bikes, but they have more tire clearance. You can see it has a little bit wider tire. You can get fenders on there, and so many people should be on bikes like this because they're super fast, they're really zippy, they're nice and lightweight, but then you can use it as a really good utility bike. A lot of people will use these year-round because you can fit a studded tire on there if you want to. We're in Minneapolis, and so I gotta talk about single speeds. Single speeds are great, they make a ton of sense, especially when you want to get the most bike for your money, because you're not spending money anymore on derailleurs, shifters, so you're just taking that out of the equation. So if you look at a $500 bike that has gears on it, a $500 bike that has a single speed, the $500 bike with a single speed is going to have nicer parts, just has less to it. That also means that not only is it going to be lighter because it doesn't have the derailleurs and the shifters and stuff on it, but it's also going to be even lighter because it has a little bit lesser wheels, cranks, frames, stuff like that. So a lot of kids use them because they're kind of in the trend right now, but they're in the trend because they make sense. And they're going to be so much lighter if you're carrying up your apartment or your dorm room. They're a lot easier for maintenance because you're just jumping on and pedaling. Sometimes you have to bring your chain on, but you don't have to worry about as many cables, nearly as many moving parts. And with those, they start off at a little bit less expensive bike. Like the ones right behind you, we have kind of, it's almost a hybrid single speed. And so it starts off a little under $400, has the chain guard on it, steel frame, steel fork, has a really fun position to it where the handlebars will be about the same level as the saddle. And then we end up going with some that are more the traditional style where you can have it fixed or coast. Fixed is just where you can't stop pedaling if the bike is moving. It's always going to be moving with the wheel. You can only talk about a bike so much. And if you're really in the market for a bike and you're not exactly sure what type of bike to go for, test drive it. Just jump on it, take it for a cruise, and really whole spectrums of bikes. You don't even have to think about it anymore. So you don't even have to research or anything. Is either